You're watching ZTV.
All right, dear ones, I am Zari Banks from zwriteswords.org, zsolvesproblems.com, from Prayer Junkie, and also from ChristBizTC.ninja. I'm a member of the Grow Your Dreams Network, which is a business group, a Christian business group. We have a group on Facebook, but we also have a conference that we have every year, and you can go to growyourdreamsconference.com and get information about that. You definitely want to register for it. It's going to be powerful. It is in April in Virginia Beach, and it's the third conference, and it has grown every year. So you don't want to miss out on it. There's good stuff coming. I already started figuring out what I'm going to talk about because we'll be, into that 2016 stuff, and the Lord started speaking to me a little bit about that already. So I'm kind of putting together what my topics are going to be, and it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be about things moving forward into 2016 and the things that the Lord wants to do in business and stuff like that. What I want to talk to you today about is miracles. I have been praying. I set aside these last 2 months of 2015 to really pray and set my 2016 in order. And if you read my email that went out Sunday, you know what I'm talking about specifically. And so I've invested several hours over these last 2.5 days. It hasn't even been 3 full days yet, but I've spent a lot of hours in prayer. And when I was just praying a little while ago, the Lord said to pray with some people to, so that they can get miracles. There are people out there who need miracles. And so what I would like to do is on Sunday, which is November 8th, I'm going to set aside time in like 15-minute increments to pray with people if you need a miracle for something. Well, how do you know if you need a miracle? If you have a problem that you cannot solve, you're a candidate for a miracle. And in order to participate in this is what I'm asking you to do, is to sow me a seed of $1. And if you think that's wrong, that's fine. Then this isn't for you, because everybody's not called to me, everybody's not for me. But the reason I'm asking you to do that is, number one, I need to know that you're serious. Because if you don't have faith, for a dollar seed, you don't have faith for a miracle, you're not going to get it. And I'm not going to waste my time with you. And I'm just being honest. I don't have time. I'm not investing, hours in prayer every single day so that I can be activated to receive and to release miracles for other people for somebody who's not serious enough to want to receive them. And a lot of people are not serious enough to want to receive miracles. It's sad and it's crazy, but there are a lot of people who will never go to the Lord and ask him for something impossible for whatever reason, and that just doesn't make any sense. So if that's you, then you and I are not a good fit for each other, because I want the impossible. God said that eye hasn't seen, ear hasn't heard the wonderful things that I have in store for those who love me. I'm seeking that eye hasn't seen, ear hasn't heard type of stuff from the Lord, and I'm relentless. I'm not going to stop until I get what I want. And it's so funny. When I was setting up this prayer system for myself, because when you go in, this is one of the things about effective prayer. When you go in for a season of prayer with the Lord, what you do is you tell him what you're going in for, and you kind of have this conversation with, well, at least I do. I'm telling you what I do. I have these conversations with him about, okay, well, this is what I want, and this is what I'm willing to do to be able to get that stuff. Are you down with that? And he always comes into agreement with it because he's wonderful. But it's so funny. I was telling him, I'm going after this stuff. This is I haven't prayed for things the way I'm praying for things since I needed to get Zane back. Like, it's that type of prayer that I'm going into. So that's why I have, that's why I'm hearing from him so well in this season, because I am focused on him and I am receiving. When you focus on the Lord, heaven is open above you and you're going to receive everything that you ask for and more. So he told me to invest in some other people who need miracles, to pray with them so that they can get their miracles. And why am I doing that? Because that's seed that's going to increase what he's doing for me. And you may say, oh, that's selfish. Well, he's the one who told me to do it. So if you think that's selfish, you take that up with him. And then another reason that I'm asking for the $1 is because I charge as a mentor $200 an hour. That's my minimum for mentoring, and a dollar is worth that little bit of time that you're getting me one on one to make sure that you get a miracle. And like I said, if you don't have the faith to give up $1, then you don't have the faith to receive a miracle. It's not going to happen for you. So I don't want to waste either of our time. And listen, this is how it works. Think about, I always go back to the widow of Zarephath. She had enough food for one meal for her and her son, and that was it. They weren't going to make it through the famine. Well, she sowed that meal to Elijah, and then their meal and their oil didn't run out for the remainder of the famine until God, fixed things for her. So that was worth it for a miracle. It was worth it to her. She had enough faith to say, okay, I'm going to give up my last meal to this man of God because, Holy Spirit stirred faith in her. He had been proven, he'd done all this stuff. And I'm telling you, if you've heard my testimony of how I got my son back from custody, I am activated for miracles. I really am. And so, that's something that you need to step out on faith and walk toward if you actually need a miracle, if you want a miracle. And if you say, dude, I only have $4, I can't really afford to give you one to get a miracle, you need to give up that $1 more than anybody else does, because you can sow that dollar and then turn around and get, 50 times that within the next 24 hours, because that's how the Lord works. But you have to be one who moves out on faith. I'm somebody who lives my complete life by faith every single day. Every bit of provision that I have all comes from him, and I've shared this testimony forever. This is the way it's been ever since I first came into covenant with him. That's another thing. If you understand how covenant works, your faith should be sky high. You should be able to believe and ask and expect all of those wonderful things. Hi, Lila. Love you, dear one. You should be able to believe and expect for all those things. So if you would like to do that with me, this is what you do. I have an email address, zwriteswords@gmail.com. Just send me an email and say, I want to pray with you on Sunday, and we will work that out. And listen, this is for people who need miracles. And this is what I said. You're eligible. You're a candidate for miracles. If you have a problem that you cannot solve, you can tweet that. If you have a problem that you can't solve, you're a candidate for miracles. You can tweet that for me. And don't forget to put @Ms. Banks on there. So if you want to pray and you want to get something done, then just email me and I will schedule. I'll write you out. But I'm going to do that on Sunday. And it's not going to take you long. Like I said, I'm going to schedule them in 15-minute increments, so we only have to pray for between 7 and 15 minutes. But you need to be focused and you need to be serious. Again, that's what the $1 is for. And if you say, oh, well, I can't believe she's asking for $1 for people to pray with her, blah, 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 stuff. Listen, I got a text right here that I got. I'm telling you. And plus, I'm going around my town that I am, I'm planning effective prayer groups all over the city. People they all go to other churches, and they are calling Zari Banks that nobody knows to ask them to teach them how to pray effectively, because churches aren't teaching how to pray. I'm telling you, I know how to pray. I know how to get things done. Believe me, I'm not just trying to hustle you out of your $1, of which PayPal's going to take 33 cents of it anyway. So I'm not trying to hustle you out of your stuff. I'm telling you, you just need to be serious about what it is that you need. And I know how to pray. I know how to get things done. Listen, I'm just telling you, I spoke to somebody who got taken off of as being the leader of their prayer team at a church a couple weeks ago. She was like, came over on Sunday. She's like, I've been wanting to talk to you, all this stuff. I know how to pray. Yes, Zari knows how to pray. Lila's right there. She's a witness because we've prayed together before. Ooh, and this money angel just came. And let me tell you, I got revelation about how that money angel works last Friday. And I have to figure out a way to present that. I'm going to put it in a video so it makes sense. And I'm going to try not to be hyper. I've been working on not being hyper so much, and I'm doing better. But I do still get a little bit of hype. But, I was telling you about, I get all distracted when I get excited. I was telling you about, this is the text I got. I need to pray at your earliest convenience. Thanks. Please call me so we can pray. Thanks. I'm telling you, I know how to pray. I know how to get things done. And I get these types of texts all the time, all hour of the night. Look at this one. My son's in the emergency room. I need you to pray. I get these texts all the time because I know how to pray. I know how to get things done. I know how to move the hand of God. And like right now, like I said, I've been praying already for 2.5 days, and heaven is open above me, huge. I was in there praying today, had nothing to do with our praying for, and the Lord's out pouring out business ideas. Why? Because heaven is open. When heaven's open, you start getting stuff. When you get into the Lord's presence, he gives you stuff all the time. I'm telling you, so funny. He's so good like that. But I really do know how to pray. I really do know how to move mountains. I really am diligent in prayer. And listen, this is the thing. If you can come into agreement with me when you and I pray together, it doesn't matter if you don't see anything right away. I'm telling you, as I'm praying, I'm seeing what's going on in the spiritual. And I'm not going to stop until I get that divine confirmation that what we have done has had effect. So you may not see anything. You may not know anything. But if you can come into agreement with my faith, you're going to have what you ask for. I guarantee it. Not because I'm so special, but because I know how the Lord works. I've had to go before him on my face in desperation and just receive from him because nobody else can help me in situation after situation after situation. Listen, I'm telling you, you can get what you need done from him. He's faithful. He doesn't have all those promises in the Bible just to take up space. He really is faithful. He will do those things that we come into agreement and ask for. Believe me, he really will. Okay, so again, if you want to pray with me on Sunday, I'm going to just do that all day Sunday. I'm just going to be praying with people, praying with people, praying with people, because this is a season of miracles. I asked the Lord, I'm like, look, I need some things done, and they are big, and they are nasty, and they are ugly, and I need you to take care of this for me. Are you willing if I spend these next 2 months praying? And you know he said yes, because if he's like, if you're going to seek me for 2 months straight, you know I'm going to give you whatever you want and a whole bunch of extras too. So just, participate. I'm saying all you're giving up is a few minutes and a piddlywink dollar, really. And if you are so tight that you can't give up with $1, man, you are never, ever, ever going to receive the fullness of the kingdom of God. Let me tell you, yes, season of miracles. I agree. And let me repeat that for you. If you're so tight that you can't give up $1, then you are never, ever going to receive of the fullness of heaven. You can't. There's no way. Jesus gave up his whole life, beaten, bruised, all that stuff. If you can't give up $1, you'll never receive. You are not a candidate for the fullness of heaven. You're just not. And you may be saying, oh, well, that's just good. I just don't want to give to you, blah, 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 all this stuff, whatever. I'm telling you, it just that's you. That's you. When I learned about the power of sowing, and no, you're not buying things from God. What you're doing is you're telling him that your treasure, because on earth, money is our treasure. It really is. The 98% of us, money is what we're worried about. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine for you to have money. God didn't create money so that only, people who don't honor him end up with all the wealth of the world. That's absolutely not his plan in any way, shape, or form. Nothing wrong with having money at all. But like I'm saying, if you are so tight that you can't part with $1, to show the Lord, look, my treasure is with you. My treasure is in prayer. My treasure is in seeking heaven and receiving from you. Then you just don't qualify for the wealth of heaven. You don't qualify for the benefits of heaven. You don't qualify for all those things. Yes, you could still go to heaven, but it's been revealed, you have those visitations with the Lord, and he shows you what heaven is. If you want to know what heaven's about, just ask him. That's another thing. If you're tripping about the asking for the $1, pray and ask him. Jeremiah 33:3. Lord, is this something that I should invest in? If he says, no, this is not for you right now, then you keep moving. I'm not worried about that. If he says you absolutely need to come into agreement with her because she knows how to pray, then you move. If you don't, you miss your miracle. And again, that's not my fault. Okay. So, through revelation, the Lord has shown me that if you don't study the things that he's released to you to learn now while you're on this earth, when you get to heaven, before he's going to put you into an assignment there, you're going to have to go through Holy Spirit boot camp in heaven. So you should be learning. That's something that the Lord told me when I first got custody of Zane back in January of 13, before the semester started, because I homeschool him. I was praying, well, what does Zane's focus need to be? And he says, you need to focus on me first because of the calling that's on his life. And then that education stuff will all fall into place. And that's the truth. And matter of fact, the Lord gave me that confirmation of that word in, when was it? Maybe August. This prophet, we were praying on the phone one day, and she's like, the Lord told me to tell you, don't worry about school. Keep doing what you're doing. Because our school is that. We start out with Bible and prayer and seeking the Lord and communion and all this stuff, and then we do school after the fact. Why? Because of the calling that's on his life. Matter of fact, I can even read you this email that our apostle sent about him from January. I was reading it earlier today, matter of fact, because I need to pray into this while I'm in this season of miracles right here. And this, it says right here, Zaria. It says, I know God's hand is upon Zane. He has chosen you to help groom him for the master's service. That's all the email says. That's all the email says. But this is one of the things that's different about my life than is different about a lot of other people's lives, is my focus is on God first and all that other stuff later. Everybody's like, oh, well, how come you're teaching him this? How come I'm teaching this? You know what? I'm teaching him about what God wants him to do. He's the one who promised me, if I focus on God first, training my son to be, the minister that he's supposed to be first, then God will take care of all that other stuff. And he's proven faithful. He doesn't lie. He's good. So, just if you need a miracle, and I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who need miracles. I know, like myself, one of the things that I'm praying for three things. That's another thing about me. When I get into prayer, I'm focused, and I've broken it down because I'm praying for three things, and I've got 61 days. I'm praying 20 days, 20 days, and 21 days for those three things, and they are going to be done within that amount of time because I know how prayer works. But this is another thing about prayer, is that you need to focus, and that's one of the reasons that the Lord is already speaking about miracles 2.5 days in. I'm telling you, I'm going to get so much stuff done over this time. It's going to be cray. But just, you do what the Lord tells you to do, and he gives you, oh my goodness, just looked up and realized that the cat knocked over a plant, and that means that she went poop in the house. Oh, okay. I got distracted, and now I got to go clean this up. I'm sorry. Me too. Me too. What are you saying? Me too what? I missed it. Anyway, so share the podcast. If anybody wants to come into agreement with me, I'm going to be praying all day. I will pray from sunup to sundown. Anybody who wants to pray and get their miracle. Oh, that's what I was talking about, is miracles. Lots of people need miracles. There's stuff, like I was saying personally for me, like the Lord has shown me, this big pocket of provision that's like sitting there. And it's been sitting there for a couple of months. And I'm like, I'm done with that, with it just sitting there. I want it, and I want it now. I don't care what has to happen. I want my stuff, and I want it now. I want to grab hold of that. I want that bubble that it's in to be punctured and all of that provision to be released. So that's one of the things that I'm going into prayer for. All right. ZariTowards.org is my website. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I loose and declare activated faith over you right now so that you can receive and minister to others miracles in Jesus' name. All right. Bye-bye.